What's going on, everyone? Talen here, and welcome to another Marvel Future Fight video. Alright, so we're going to be fighting against Master Mold again in this video here. So we're going to be doing Giant Boss Raid, and I'm going to be using Thor as my main kind of DPSer for this run here. And this is the team that I used. We have Jean Grey for her leadership. Really good to have that debuff leadership. And then we have Wolverine for the team-up bonuses, and then also I just was curious to see if Wolverine could do anything as well, so I just threw him in the party, especially since I saw I was getting some team-up bonuses. And also I figured if I needed to switch to him, he has really good survivability, so yeah, so just kind of throwing him in. But Thor is going to be the main kind of star of the video here, so let's go ahead and take a look at Thor so you can see my build on him. So here we go for the gears. We have level 25, of course, because he is tier 3, and then we have just some ignore defense and are those ignore defense? No, those aren't. Those are crit rate, aren't they? I already forgot what I put on them. Yeah, the crit damage. So if crit damage and energy attack run him, excuse me. And then the last slot for those, I was still debating what I want to put on there. For the skills here, we do have all of them at level 6. For the ice weight set, we have Power the Angry Hulk. It's not fully awakened, but we do have 6-star ice weights on there. And then for the custom gear, we have immune to guard break, lightning damage, and a 160 proc. I really like this obelisk on him because having lightning damage is really good for Thor, and the guard break immunity just really helps, so he does, of course, doesn't get guard broken. So I definitely think that's a very valuable stat to have on Thor. And then the 160 proc, I do like having a damage proc because his damage is already really high, so that damage proc just really helps. And it is only 160, so I definitely would like to roll a better version of this obelisk here because I want those same 3 stats, just hopefully a little bit higher values. And then the uniform, we do have the uniform at legendary right now. And then if we want to take a look at the stats here, so here are his stats. So the attack speed, crit rate, and crit damage are all pretty average. They're a little bit low. I'd like them to be a bit higher, but that's what we're working with for right now. The ignore defense and skill cooldown are max, which are the 2 main stats that you want to max out. So definitely happy to have that. So yeah, so that's my build on Thor here. And then if we want to check real fast, I'll show you my cards again, just like last video. So those are the stats of my cards. Nothing too special, but just want to show you all of the kind of bonuses that I'm getting here, so you can take that into account if your tier 3 Thor is maybe performing a little bit differently than mine. So yeah, now that all of that is out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into the gameplay. Alright, so here we are at the gameplay. We again have just a random lobby, so I'm just going in with 2 random guys that I found with the regular search, and we have one of them with a tier 3 Captain America, which is really nice, and then we have some tier 2 Deadpools to help us out here. So for this first part, I'd like to just use Jean here just to conserve health with Thor, even though Thor can handle this just fine. But I found that Jean isn't as useful as I would have thought in this game mode here. She does very, very low damage to Master Mold, like surprisingly low damage. So I don't know if Master Mold is just fire resistant or if there's some other interaction going on here, because like Weapon Hex, Deadpool, who else? Like some of the other mutant characters are still doing very, very good damage to him. So it can't just be the fact that she is a mutant. So I'm thinking it must be the fire damage or something like that. But anyway, we're going to switch over to Thor here. And like I said, Thor is going to be my main DPSer. And I don't remember if both of these guys had debuff leaderships, but when he does that, of course, your power is mine thing, you definitely want to be very careful when you're playing with 2 random characters, because you don't want to always just assume that they know that they would need to switch characters to get rid of that debuff that he puts onto you, because you can easily just get one-shotted. Yeah, I think, did one of them just die there because of that? I don't know, but yeah, because you can easily get one-shotted by your teammates if they don't know about switching the characters to get rid of that debuff, or if they're not aware of what that debuff does and they're still attacking. Because sometimes I think if you leave the area, it gets rid of that debuff. I think that's why it actually says that. Right after that there, it says leave the battlefield. So I don't know if either leaving the battlefield will prevent that debuff from getting put onto you, or if it will remove it when you already have it active. But either way, when I'm playing with random characters, I like to be random allies, I like to be really cautious when I see that pop up. If I have a character that has damage immunity that I can trigger though, like Thor here, then I'm usually not too worried about it unless I see that they're running someone with Pierce, because then of course they're going to Pierce, and yeah, we already lost one of them there, so we just have that tier 3 Captain America to help us out. Because the Pierce will of course work on your damage immunity, so you will get killed by any of those characters that have Pierce. And if they don't have Pierce, like I said, I usually will just make sure I have my immunity up just to be on the safe side. Or you can just leave the area and kind of wait out the length of the debuff, which I think is like, what, 10 seconds or something like that. But anyway, as you can see here, we're making pretty good progress with Thor. So Thor is definitely hitting hard enough, and he is lightning damage. So Master Mold here isn't resistant to all elemental damage. Like I said, it seems like only fire, because Scarlet Witch, Psylocke were both working just fine, and they have mind damage. So fire seems to be the only one that I've noticed so far that's really getting very kind of reduced or hindered while fighting Master Mold here, because as you can see there, that damage proc did not do very much, and the Cap was attacking as well, so a lot of damage is actually probably from that Captain America. And my Jean Grey, she's built pretty well. I have a fully awakened set on her. I have a 200% damage proc with fire damage obelisk, so she's no slouch in terms of her kind of damage ceiling, damage cap. She's pretty up there in terms of a damage build. So yeah, just seeing her damage be that low is kind of was surprising to me. But anyway, we're gonna continue our assault here. Having that Captain America is really helping us out, because Thor on his own is not going to really be able to like solo this stage. Well, at least mine can't, but you can do most of the damage. So Thor, definitely a good option if you're kind of with two weaker allies, but you do of course want the allies to be doing some damage for you. And here I was trying out Wolverine a little bit, and Wolverine, I don't know, his damage is pretty poor as well. I was doing like no damage to those little mini sentinels there, and my Wolverine has a 180 proc on it on him, I want to say. So he does have a damage proc, so yeah, he just wasn't doing very much damage here either. But anyway, we're going to continue here with Thor. We have the power switch, and the Captain America is still alive. I think we do end up losing him at one point here, but we're making it through most of the way. Yeah, so Jean just got one-shotted right there, and then after I saw Jean got one-shotted, I was kind of thinking that either the ally right there was under the kind of control of the Sentinel, like he had his power taken by the Sentinel, so that he was either doing damage to me, or the Reflect for some reason was active on me, even though I didn't have like the purple outlines on the screen. So I just wanted to be really safe, and I switched between characters and made sure that Thor did not get knocked out, because I need him alive no matter what, so that we can finish this fight here. So we're getting down really close to the last little bit here. So he's about to, there he goes, enter the recovery phase. And if I remember right, I don't actually think that we were able to break this shield here, because for some, okay, we did get a damage proc there, but yeah, it wasn't enough. I was gonna say, for some reason, it seems like when he enters, oh wait, did we get it? Get him. Oh, we did, okay. So we did manage to break the shield there, just barely. But what I was saying about when he enters that recovery mode, it seems like during the recovery mode, I almost never get a damage proc off. And there's enough time while he's in that recovery phase for you to do about 3 skill rotations. So in like 3 skill rotations, I would say 80% of the time when I've been playing this mode and he gets the recovery phase, I do not get a damage proc at all. So I don't know if there's something going on there as well, or like I mentioned in my previous video, I don't know if just this game mode itself has like kind of like reduced chance for your like obelisk to proc or something like that, or your abilities that have like a percentage chance if they are like reduced while fighting Master Mold here, which I could see something like that happening. Master Mold, you know, the Sentinels could, like, they suppress mutants, so maybe it has like a suppressing effect on like all of your characters in terms of like your ability accuracy or the chance of abilities triggering, but I don't know for sure, so that's why I'm just just guessing on this, and I could have just been really unlucky for all of the times that I've been fighting Master Mold previously. So I'm kind of curious to see if you guys have had this same kind of experience while fighting Master Mold in this game mode here. If you notice that your like obelisk procs are like really off, or just happening very inconsistent, or just not happening very much at all, or if you know, I just want to know if it's just me or not, because I'm not 100% sure. And it looks like we lost the Captain America there, because I see only, yeah, I just looked to double check, because there was only one bubble on the co-op skill, so that would mean that I am the only active player right now. So we have 7 bars left to deal with on our own with no help here. So Thor is just going to kind of chip away at this. And there we have the damage proc just randomly activating right there. I was trying to take advantage of it, so get that 5th skill off right away. Then do a few skills here and hopefully line up the proc with my tier 3. There we go. Good amount of damage, but it seems like it is kind of tapering off a little bit. It seems like he might have the same kind of effect as Call Obsidian, like the more damage he takes, the higher his resistance is, or something like that. So it just makes it a little bit tougher to kill him once he gets low on health. And also when he, of course, he gets into this phase here where he is standing up opposed to sitting down, it seems like his health bars go down a lot slower. Like he's either his resistance goes up or they change or something like that. But anyway, we have pretty much 5 bars left here to deal with, and we only have 1 minute and 12 seconds. So yeah, I'm getting a little worried here. I'm like, come on, Thor, we need those damage procs to line up, because this is not looking too good. So there we go, got a decent damage proc there. It looks like we get about, what, 70% of a bar here when we get a damage proc off. Maybe not even 70%, but again, that damage proc was partway through the skill, so I think if we get the damage proc at the start of the skill, we're getting about 70% of a bar. So 40 seconds left, bar and a half. I think we should be good here. Yeah, there we go. So it looks like actually that debuff didn't try to apply itself until after it said leave the arena, because I saw the Jean Grey's leadership proc on Thor there, because of course that bubble that's surrounding him means that the leadership is active, and it looked like it didn't activate until after he said leave this area. Then there's kind of like a little wave that went off, and it looked like that would have been the debuff. So we just need to get one more skill off here, and there we go, cutting it super close. 3 seconds left, but Thor was able to do it, and I believe, yeah, we got 62%, so he was doing a bulk of the damage. So we got 50 million out of the about 80 million or so health pool. So yeah, Thor, really good option as your main DPSer if you have him at tier 3. Yeah, you can't solo it, at least mine can't, but you can do a majority of the damage and hopefully carry some of the allies that you run into that maybe aren't running the strongest build. So yeah, anyway, that's going to be it for this video here. I hope you guys are enjoying this kind of on a little mini series I'm going to be doing on a few characters versus Master Mold here. But anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next video here with Master Mold, so I'll see you then.